Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We're back. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us. 804-447-0601 to be down with us. 804-447-0601. Real quick, I want to give another shout to my man Aaron Turner, who's listening to us here in the Richmond area. He thinks Big Rube has been drinking something on that Lakers stuff. The West is stacked. He agrees with me that Dwight is overrated. Agreeing with Shaq that Dwight Howard is soft and overrated. That's my man Aaron Turner. Ain't no half stepping. With Marcus J, it's time to get into the National Football League and the games that we had this week. And I'll be honest with you, we probably had one of the best weekends of football that we have had in a long time. Looking at the playoff games, and as we went through our picks, Big Rube went 3-1.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'll
tip.
Carlton Banks just said a bad word on the air. Okay,
and I didn't mean to say that. It's someone.
Yeah, it's a haterade. Ain't no half stepping Marcus J. Big Rube went 3-1. Carlton Banks and Marcus J both went 2-2. So we'll get into the games. Big Rube and I spent the day Saturday with the Dating Pool Diva at the Dating Pool Revolution seminar, the relationship seminar. So unfortunately, we weren't able to really focus on the game the way we would like to. But I did go back and watch some of the highlights, and we had the game on where we were because we did have our priorities in order. But to talk about this game, you had a double overtime game, Baltimore-Denver. Baltimore wins the game 38-35. Now, the highlight for me is it made the point that I've always made about Peyton Manning being not necessarily the greatest guy in clutch. There's this big thing about Peyton Manning not being able to play well in cold weather. He always loses games in cold weather. You got this whole thing about, him being a Hall of Fame MVP caliber player during the regular season, which is true. But in 6 number 1 seeds, he's only come away with 1 Super Bowl. Those are pretty staunch numbers. And then, of course, he has a big interception at the end of this game that, had he not thrown it at that particular time, Denver could have done something different and the game could have turned out. Now, we know, that, it was the defense that kind of lost it at the end for Denver. But Peyton Manning didn't do him no favors. So, Big Rube is giving me this crazy face. Go ahead and make your point. We got a caller on the line. We're gonna come to you in a minute, caller. But I'm gonna get no. Big Rube, go ahead and make your point, and we'll have the call in a second.
No offense, but you sound like this dude over here 2 weeks ago blaming Romo for their loss to the Redskins. You cannot sit here and say it's Peyton Manning's fault when the defense gave up 38 points. 38 points. They gave up 38 points. Now they gave up 3 points in 2 overtimes. Fine, they decided to play some defense in overtime. But you're not going to sit here and tell me that they allow Flacco to basically just toss the ball all over the place. Little Ray Rice had 130 yards rushing, and you're going to blame Manning for this? No way, man. I can't even let you roll with that.
No, that's how I feel.
But it's horrible. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, but when we're talking about a clutch quarterback, we're talking about an interception thrown against his body at the end of the game, and then you're also talking about the fact that his coach didn't, with 30 seconds, kneels out. You got Peyton Manning. You need what?
So 40, that's Peyton Manning's fault.
You got 40 or 50 yards to go, and your coach who doesn't allow Peyton Manning.
Then you blame John Fox for that.
Nah. Well, John Fox had a reason. Ain't no hashtag with Marcus J. We got a caller on the live line. Caller, what's your name and where you calling from?
Yo, what's up? What's up, Global Scale family? This is your boy Aaron Cruz on this show went on Thursday night. I just call in. They say y'all one of the best shows are going around, brothers. How y'all doing?
We going well, man. What's going on, man? Thank you for the plug. Why don't you first, before you get your comment in, man, tell us about your show, what kind of show you got, and tell the listeners on Global Scale Radio how they can find you.
Yeah, well, my show is called Remember Winners every Thursday night here on Global Scale Radio. And basically I play anything and everything, man. And I would listen to you guys talk, and I had to call in, man, because I'm loving the discussion right now about the games over the weekend and everything. That said, I got to call in. These brothers, they know what they're talking about, so I had to call on in.
Well, let me ask you this, Aaron. As far as the Baltimore-Denver game, were you able to watch it or at least kind of have an idea?
Oh, I watched the whole game.
All right, well, why don't you give us
my thoughts on that game is this. 2 minutes left. They're up by a touchdown. I'm thinking it's over. I'm thinking Ray Lewis, you know what I'm saying? It's been a good career, bro. So I'm like, I went in. I had went to the kitchen and came back. When I came back from the kitchen, Baltimore had the ball. So I'm like, what happened? So next thing I know, pass was thrown overtime. And I'm wondering, Peyton Manning's been in the league for a long time. And I'm wondering what makes you not want to just, you know, run some couple of plays, you know what I'm saying, get the first down, and, you know, take it from there.
I mean, you
play it out
you
the
basically
last 2 minutes up by a touchdown.
You basically saying what
saying
what I'm saying.
In the blink of an eye, you know. That was a horrible. Whoever called them play, that was real horrible.
Yeah, and they got Peyton Manning. Aaron, I appreciate your call, man. Thank you so much for calling and joining us. You're welcome anytime. Ain't no half Steppin with Marcus J, man. Thank you for your support, man. Really mean it.
Ain't no problem. You guys have a blessed night now, and I'm enjoying the show.
You got it. Thank you, brother. Ain't no half Steppin with Marcus J. I guess Aaron is somewhat agreeing with me. Carlton Banks, you haven't gotten the word in on this game. What's your thoughts, brother?
And the defense lost that game for them. Plain and simple. Champ Bailey got
Banks.
abused. Flacco was sitting here. Where is Champ Bailey? I need to just find Champ Bailey. Oh, there he is. Doom.
Did they even hit? Did Von Miller ever get to Flacco?
No, Von Miller did not.
You got him.
He might have got it to him once or twice.
He got him and Evans Doverville, and none of them could get to Flacco. Get out of here, man.
And then the vaunted Baltimore defense was not there because the third string running back ran shack on him. He just ran all over them.
Y'all can sit here and do that.
Yeah, but Ray Lewis had 17 tackles.
Y'all can sit here.
That's because they kept running the ball.
Hold up. Y'all can sit here and do this all y'all want. Talk about defense, lost the game, all that stuff, all you want. But we talking about one of the greatest quarterbacks in the history of the game who has a history of not showing up in the big game. I think we would be remiss if we didn't discuss the fact that Peyton Manning has a history of not winning the big game. Six.
You didn't see the game.
6 number 1 seeds.
You didn't see the game.
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
I'll
be honest with you. I didn't sit and study the game, but I know enough about it. So you ain't got to tell me I didn't watch the game because I know about this game. What I'm telling you is 6 number 1 seeds and 1 Super Bowl. Reminds me of the Atlanta Braves with 14 division titles and 1 freaking World Series. Really? Especially when I come on these airwaves comparing him to his brother. You can say what you want.
Lord,
you can say what you want. Yeah, here we go. You can say what you want about Eli Manning, but in the clutch moment, Eli Manning is the one that I would rather have on the center. And I'm not a Peyton Manning hater, but I really needed to see more out of the guy who's one of the 2 guys who's likely going to get the season MVP trophy. Now, what I will say is this. I did think that it was very classy for him to show up in the locker room at the end of the game to congratulate Ray Lewis on the win and congratulate him playing in the AFC Championship game. His photograph going around the internet of the 2 of them talking in the locker room after the game. Thought that was cool. It's classy, but ain't got nothing to do with it on the field.
Well,
it
like
is what it is.
Defense lost the game for him. Champ Bailey did not show up. The vaunted Champ Bailey who they got from the Washington Redskins.
Flacco did abuse Champ Bailey for no reason.
He got abused. The safety in the corner read the ball completely wrong. How you just let a man go up the side of the field? Both players are back
Jacoby Jones?
Yeah, the last touchdown. Yeah. You don't do that. What are you in a Tampa 1? You're not in a Tampa 2.
All right, now what I want to do now, because we're not going to agree on this game.
No, we're not.
Okay, so
it's 2-1.
It was probably it's fine. It's 3 of us, so it's always going to be 2-1 or 3-0. So that's fine. Next game, I think we all will agree on. Well, at least a couple of us will. Is the Green Bay San Francisco game?
That was abuse right there.
That was a good game. I'm going for my notes right now, and this game
I picked Green Bay.
Ruben picked Green Bay, and Carlton and I both picked San Francisco. Not really feeling San Francisco just because their fans are, they're obnoxious. They've been silent and dormant for the last decade. Now all of a sudden, all we got to talk about is Colin Kaepernick is great when they were saying people was complaining about Alex Smith losing his job off of a concussion. But, hey, it is what it is.
You complained about Colin, too?
I mean, I don't have a dog in that race. I just like watching good football. I mean, my team is home. My team has been home, and this is the first time in a couple of years that I can actually watch the playoffs in peace. You know when you want your team there, you want to be a part of the playoffs. But when your team ain't there, you really can't watch the games in peace.
Can I make a small statement?
Please.
Not really about the game itself, but how did anybody notice the fact that the Redskins or RG3 has changed the face of football this year?
I don't want to talk about the Redskins.
Well, hold on. Let me hear me out.
How the hell you gonna go there?
Hear me out.
Make it quick.
Did they play
really.
this weekend?
The thing about it is the read option is now more prevalent this year than ever.
Oh yeah, that's because of the Redskins.
Nobody ran the read. Hold on. The Redskins were the only team to run the read option until like 8 weeks in the season.
You know what?
Now
it's
all
a
the other
fad.
teams are running the read option.
It's a fad. You know what it's called? The Wildcat. All right.
It's not the Wildcat.
It's just like Miami ran the
It's
Wildcat.
not the Wildcat.
It's just like Miami ran the Wildcat up on everybody. When the defense gets, all you need is one season.
Just like you said to me a minute ago, you're not gonna let me do that. I'm not gonna let you do that.
Hold on,
I'm not gonna let you.
But it's not.
I'm not gonna let you do that.
But it's not the Wildcat.
I'm not gonna. Okay. So it's not the Wildcat. But why the hell are we talking about the Redskins?
I'm just saying. Colin Kaepernick has made.
Oh yeah, that's right. He's been
season.
studying tape on freaking RG3.
No,
lost your damn mind, man.
No, everybody's starting to use read option. That's what I'm saying.
You crazy as hell. Colin Kaepernick did
Am
have
I
a great.
wrong?
I'm
180 yards on the ground.
181 yards on the ground and 2 touchdowns.
And that's not using the read option.
And 263 yards in the air with 2 touchdowns. He
and
had a great.
Not using the read option.
But I'm not gonna give you credit for the freaking Redskins.
I just wanted to say,
let's go to Nick Saban.
We proved that it could work.
Or somebody else in the college ranks.
Wait a minute. How did the Redskins prove they can work when they ain't played in a week? The San Francisco 49ers are playing. So if anybody proved it, it's them. What are you talking about?
They started using it after the Redskins started using it.
Okay.
You trying to say, am I wrong? Am I wrong? Please tell me I'm wrong, because you know I'm not.
I'm not going there with you.
But I'm just telling the truth.
I don't understand how you think that the Redskins have woke up.
We proved that
30 other teams in the league.
Dallas tried to use read option like 5 years ago with Quincy Carter or whatever.
No, we didn't. Just because you don't have a quarterback whose talent level allows you to be able to play that style doesn't necessarily mean just because the Redskins have a quarterback who allows you to play that style that they woke up the freaking league.
Well, I'm just saying that we have other teams that had that mobility.
Okay, I don't want to talk about this no more.
I don't want to talk about this no more.
I don't want to talk about this no more because it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time. It's a waste of time.
We were talking about San Fran and Green Bay.
It's a waste of time because we talking about San Fran and Green Bay, and you just
wasted
3 minutes
on the Redskins. Prevalent in this game.
Carlton Banks, his mic is officially turned
cut his mic off. Please.
Man, I'll walk up to your mic and talk. You don't think I won't come to your mic and talk?
Carlton Banks.
You don't think I won't come to your mic and talk?
He's hit my mic, y'all. He's really hit my mic right now. I need to cut his. No, but he'll come talk in mine like he just did.
Get a seatbelt or something for him.
Yeah, we'll strap him down. All right, but seriously, let's bring it down.
San Fran, Green Bay got exploited. They were shown they cannot stop the run. They can't stop the pass. You get some pressure on my man back there,
Aaron Rodgers.
You
mean the overrated guy?
No, I don't think he's overrated. He's very quick on his arm throws and strength of his arm, all that. He's got every aspect of throwing the ball in his repertoire. They just exposed everything on them.
I think the fact that he scored 31 points. I mean, Ruben and I talked about this earlier in the season. You score between 28 and 35, you do kind of expect to win.
Exactly.
But when the other team scores 45, it's not really a whole lot you can do. And Colin Kaepernick just had one of those, games for the ages. He's in the record books. I mean, you just 181 yards on the ground. It was just one of those days that the 49ers just were not going to be beat. And it didn't matter who they played. It just really didn't. It didn't matter who they played.
I personally wanted to see an NFC West, NFC Championship game.
I would have liked to see San Francisco.
That's what I wanted.
I would have definitely liked to see San Francisco and Seattle, and that brings me a perfect transition to this game. For me was the most fun game of the weekend. The Seattle Atlanta game for me was the most fun game because I had an opportunity to watch this. This was the only one really that I was into from beginning to end because Houston and New England, which we'll talk about, that game was just boring. But the game was just boring. But Seattle and Atlanta was definitely a good game to watch. I had my eye on Russell Wilson because he's from Richmond, and so I kind of took a liking to him just because I liked his style. I liked the fact that I had a rootability for him because he was from Richmond. And then they looked and I picked them to win the game. Of course, it didn't work out, but to see how they just got embarrassed in the first half of the game, was tough because I wasn't looking forward to coming in here and talking to you. But if you look at the second half, it was definitely a whole new ball game the way the second half turned out.
And then intro Matty Ice.
Well, I'm not going to let you do that either. I'm not going to let you do that. I mean, all right, but seriously. Here's why I'm not going to let you do that. Because Russell Wilson led Seattle to 21 points in the second half.
28.
20, in the second half. And Matty did with his thing on the final drive of the game, and they got in position to kick the field goal.
Matty Ice led the league in fourth quarter wins. And the final drive wins this season was 7.
You saw a four-letter.
You can be mad at that, but it's the truth. It's the truth.
Look, man, they don't call it. They didn't start
like I don't have a dog in the Atlanta race. I don't care. I just wanted to see them beat Seattle because Seattle beat the Redskins. Be real talk. But it's like this, man. They didn't call that. They just start calling that dude Matty Ice for no reason. Last year he did it. This year he did it.
No, put it this way. This is what really dictated the game. Defense again gave up the win. Seattle had the ball, 30 seconds left in the game. You down there at the 5. You got beast mode right there. Beast mode decides he wants to fumble that ball. They review the tape. They say he got the touchdown. Now, had they put the ball down at the 1, I'd have just ran beast mode 3 more times to the end of the game. Beast mode would have just been the person I'm running in the game, and that'd have been it. In the discussion, Seattle wins. But no, they gave him the touchdown. They gave Matty Ice 30. Yeah, he was in. They gave Matty Ice the ball, 30 seconds left. First play, they pick up 20, 30 yards. What?
And then
they throw
the Tony Gonzalez.
You don't do that on the first play of the game. You don't give up 20, 30 yards. You're not supposed to do that.
But you know the crazy part
when you
about
know a field goal is going to beat you. Pete Carroll, your defense sucks just like Denver did in that last drive. You gave up. You prevented yourself from winning by playing prevent.
But you know the difference, not the differences, but the similarities to the way he did it, and the way I call it out the way Romo did it. Same thing. Romo has Witten. This dude's got Tony Gonzalez.
Yeah.
And Tony Gonzalez, that touchdown catch in the end zone, stupid.
Tony Gonzalez was a beast, and he is in large part the reason why the Atlanta Falcons are moving on to the NFC Championship
game. His
first
ever playoff win.
First time he won is it 16, 17 years in the league, and he never won a playoff game. But he's a reason because it reminded me of Jason Witten, who I do think is one of the top 3 tight ends that I've ever seen.
But number one is clearly Gonzalez.
Well, I don't know. I mean, the way Jason Witten, every single time it ends up being like 3rd and 7, he ends up getting 8 yards. It's just, But anyway, we're not talking about the Cowboys. But he actually had a great game, and every single time they needed a catch on 3rd down,
he would not be denied.
He would not be denied, and it was tough catches. He was getting behind the linebackers, and then the safety would hit him, and he'd hold on to the ball. I mean, he had a great game. Last game, Houston and New England, it was definitely a snoozer. Wasn't even as close as the 41-28 score that would suggest. Tom Brady is a surgeon. If you watch those guys and you watch one of the final touchdowns, I think the kid's name is Vereen. Shane Vereen. If you watch the touchdown he scored, you saw, what's the coach, New England coach's name? Belichick. Look up, see the score, and then turn his head and go back to coaching whoever he was talking to. And they actually said that on the broadcast. And I was looking at it like, man, this dude is a machine. Like, he don't have no emotion. That dude is just, he's a football coach through and through. Boring game. Don't want to talk about it. Let's move on. Last 2 things I want to get into real quick. Sadly, the autopsy came out on Javon Belcher, the Kansas City Chief player who killed his girlfriend and committed suicide. Comes out that he was drunk at the time, and his blood alcohol was twice the legal limit. Twice the legal limit on this. So Tony, hadn't heard from you in a little while. I want to bring you back in after having heard that this domestic violence thing turned so badly, and then we find out today that not only was he drunk, but he shot his girlfriend 9 times. What are your thoughts when you hear that?
I mean, it's sad if he was sober and, you know, just it's sad all around. And to hear that, you know, it kind of sends home the message, you know, people have all this money and this fame and you're still, you know, you're still miserable, you're still sad, or you ever, you know, you're still battling whatever demons that you have, and no amount of money can get rid of that. You know, was he self-medicating, trying to self-medicate with the alcohol? You know, did he have some sort of mental health issues? Or, you know, whatever the problem was, whatever lie behind it. It's really, really tragic. I mean, kids don't got no mom, don't got no dad. The way that, I mean, how do you tell your your grandchildren that what happened to mommy and daddy? You know, it's just very sad. And I hope that, you know, the other players in the NFL will kind of, you know, use this as a, you know, they are role models whether they want to be or not. So I'm hoping that some of them will maybe step up and kind of be an example, like, you know what, we need to change this. We can at least, you know, our face is out there.
Right.
We need to do what we can to have a positive impact.
And there was an autopsy that came out last week on Junior Seau and said that he had mental illness that they can attribute to some of the violent hits that he took over his career. Carlton Banks, I'm going to ask your opinion. Javon Belcher, twice the legal limit drunk. What's your thoughts when you hear that?
You know, I had something crass to say at first when Tony said something, so I had to rethink what I was going to say or do at that moment. I look at it like this. Yeah, really. Domestic violence, be it verbal, physical, mental, whatever, there's no place for it. You really need to seek help outside of yourself in that regards. You know, I hate it personally. I hate it. I don't want to talk about it.
I got you. Big Rube, thoughts?
Proves my point.
Yeah. What's your point? Do we have to ask? Well, I just like to hear you say it. Go ahead, say
Yeah,
it.
you know my 2 words.
What's your word, man?
Natural selection.
Natural selection. There you go.
Are we gonna not pick next week's stuff?
Final, yeah. Yeah, we are. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you reminded me. I almost forgot to do that. Final thing before we do the picks for next week, Carlton Banks, you got a new defensive coordinator in Dallas. Real quick, what's your thoughts on that?
You know, that's going to be an interesting move. From the standpoint, we have 2 linebackers that I think are going to be moved to rush in. One of the linebackers we know is under contract, whereas Anthony Spencer definitely is up for a big contract right now. So it'll be interesting to see if we do get him. He's been in the league for 6 years. Can we keep him for the amount of money he wants? And then are we able to go after anybody from free agency or trade aspects? We also have cap issues. Several players count a lot against us this season.
I don't care about that. I want to know what you think about your defensive coordinator.
I'm kind of happy. I mean, I look at it like this. Everybody was ticked off that DeMarcus Ware be going to a defensive end. Well, heck, he's been rushing every play anyway, so what difference does it make now if he doesn't rush now?
All right.
So.
All right, Ain't No Half Steppin, Marcus J. Final thing we're going to do in the segment is we're going to get into the games next week. We got San Francisco going to fly to Atlanta next week to play the Falcons. I got, gosh damn it, I got begrudgingly. I guess that's another drop of money in the tip jar.
Yep.
No, because here's why. Here's why. Because the 49ers fans are so freaking obnoxious, I don't want to have to vote for them, but I think they're going to win the game. So I got the 49ers. You know, my head says the 49ers, my heart saying Atlanta. So I'm going to be rooting for Atlanta in this game, but I think the 49ers are going to win. Big Rope.
Falcons, baby.
All right. Carlton Banks.
I want to see the Falcons. I mean, not the Falcons. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. I want to see a San Fran go.
All right.
I mean, I don't want them to get the ring number 6 before Dallas gets ring number 6.
Okay.
So that's my issue with them.
All right, we got Baltimore traveling to New England. Carlton Banks, who's winning that game?
Be more. We're going to bring it back up 95 North.
Big Rope.
Hold on, man. You don't go for B-more in neither game.
Big Rope.
Oh, I'm the Ray train, baby.
All right,
the 2 oldest people in the NFL playing the Super Bowl.
Okay, so we all got Baltimore in this game. All right. I didn't mean to cut you off, but we didn't need no commentary. That's his pick. Let him pick the reason why he wants to pick the team he wants to pick. Ain't No Half Steppin, Marcus J. We're going to take our break. When we come back, we got the serious, socially conscious, and entertainment hour. We got a fish bowl and a whole lot of stuff to get into. in the next hour. Marcus J. and Ohio Steppin be back in a minute.
Hi, this is Marsha from Brooklyn, hanging out with Marcus J. every Monday on Ain't No Half Steppin'. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Peace, love.
Ladies and gentlemen, and lowlife.